Aloha everyone and welcome. It's Friday. I've got an actual mental health live happening now. I can't believe it. And yes, I've got two dogs who want to play behind us, so I'm hoping they kind of walk out the door soon. And also, yep, and there they go. So here, let me get the treats out and going. So, welcome. While we're waiting on people to know what's going on and everything and get all the notifications and all, let me do this real quick. Hey, it's Miss Portland. Love you, my dear Miss Portland. Love you. And oh wow, we've got others. First of all, Miss Sleuth Mom got into the chat first. Let me give the dogs their treats and try to shut them up. We all know how that works. And Frank's here. I've been having fun sending messages to Frank, and I sent out a couple of you guys got messages from me about the fun I had during that last live. Anyone who knows anything about Hawaii knows we have little critters in Hawaii. All sorts of little bugs everywhere. No matter what you do, you have issues. We have our cockroaches that I call B-52 cockroaches. We have, girl, it's fine. Mrs. P, it's fine, hon. You're good. And we get ants out here. We get, especially if it's been raining. And we've been having a lot of rain lately. So earlier last time during the Amber Alert when I told Sleuth about Mom about this, I had these treats out for the dogs, and I happened to put one on my laptop, and I didn't think there was a problem with that until about 5 minutes later. I looked down to grab it, and I had a whole bunch of ants, little tiny little sugar ant-like things, and they come, and we have bugs. In fact, we literally just had the sprayers here just, gosh, what was it, 5-6 days ago, something like that. And I told them we were having issues again. So they're getting somewhere here. I don't know where. So I'm going to be very careful about these treats being near the dogs right now. But let's see here. As we get into this, as the word's getting out right now, I said, hi, Mrs. Oh, Sherry. There is Grandma Sherry. Hey, my dear. An aquarium baby made it. Hey, girl. Good old Aquariuses. We rule the world, don't we? No one knows it, but we do. We totally do. And also, I did want to, before we get into the actual discussion about apologies, things like that, because I did want to talk about that today, because I've heard a lot of discussions, hello, Susan, about apologies in general the last couple weeks, and some in my own personal 3D life, some online, all that. So I wanted to do some talking about that today. But for those of you who were here earlier and saw the mental health, the Amber Alert, we had a major change. Michelle, I'm so happy I'm getting back to normal. I'll talk more about it once we head into Cantina, because I'm not quite there, but I'm getting there. We had some changes on the Amber Alert. So before I get into this, so that we can give people time to get in here, I wanted to update you all on this. Imani is, last I heard, now I haven't checked in about a half hour, but she's still missing. However, those of you who were here at the time will remember we were talking about how initially police had given the name of a suspect and a picture. They came back later saying, oh, no, that was not, it's the same name, but it's a different person. So they shared that person's picture. Well, about 5 minutes after I got done with the Amber Alert video, something came out, and they now are like, nope, that's not the suspect either. The person that I had talked about in that last one actually called up, and I don't want to share too much on names, pictures, or anything, because he deserves his own privacy also. He called the police, and he's like, whoa, wait a second, I'm not involved in this. And they talked with him, and they're like, yeah, this guy is not involved. So new Amber Alerts were sent out. Thank you to all of you. Hey there, AJ. Thank you to every one of you who sent me information on the new Amber Alert that went out, because they updated it, and I had about 4 or 5 people send me updates. So thank you. Basically, they do not have a stop it, guys. Okay, wait, that's my mom walking in. And also, so anyhow, they've taken all the suspects out, and this is just about Imani now. So I updated the posters. Anyone who hasn't shared it, please consider sharing out the posters so we can get Imani home. The thought now is she is with that person who was, hello, Gulf Coast Mama. She is with the person she ran away with a week ago. That's the general consensus here, but we need to get her home. So I am going to keep, during this, I'm going to keep her little picture up in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to take this down for now. And let's get started on the information on good old apologies. Actually, no, I lied. I have one more thing I wanted to share. And that is the new, hey, guys, go see Grandma. And that is the new suicide crisis hotline. Some of you guys might remember I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Many of us had issues where our phone numbers were all changing and we started having to put our area code. Some of us always had to do it. But for example, here in Hawaii, we're 808. Hey there, B-Tim. In Hawaii, we never had to put that 808. But now we have to put 808 even on our island. And the reason for that is this phone number that is now active. The phone number 988 is a phone number that any of us can call anytime we are in crisis. So say you're having a really rough time and you just need someone you can talk to. Okay, say you're online and you're talking to someone who needs someone to talk to, and you know you don't have the skills to be talking with them. This is a number all of us should know. Like we know 911, we should know this number, 988. So please make note of it. Put it in the notes in your phone, whatever you need until you can start remembering it the way that we remember 911 or anything else. It is 24 hours a day. It's 7 days a week. You can also text the number. Thank you, Sleuth Mom. Yes, you can, because, you know, sometimes talking about mental health stuff is uncomfortable. It's easier to, I think that's one reason why we do so well on virtual media a lot of times, social media, I mean. Typing is a lot easier than talking, right? It's so much easier to tell someone in typewritten language, I'm having a rough time, than getting on the phone and saying, yeah, I would like to do this. I'm thinking about hurting myself or whatever. So that's great information to know about, actually, Sleuth, is that you can text. And so I'm really happy the country's put this together. Yeah, it just changed on 7th, just like a couple days ago. And so I'm so happy to see, you know, this to me is an example of how our country is moving forward, yeah? For all these years, we've been scared of mental health. We didn't want people to know. Right, AJ? See, that's the thing. Everyone's different and everyone deals with things differently. But so many of us, AJ, myself, okay, so many of you guys in chat watching that aren't even talking are dealing with mental health issues, and for years we didn't say anything. Okay, you literally, I remember the day, and the day's still here to some degree, where you would not tell anyone at your place of office, wherever you worked, that you were on an antidepressant. If you told people you were on an antidepressant, you pretty much were letting everyone know that you could not get a promotion or anything like that because, oh my gosh, you might not be stable enough. It's ridiculous. And all of us knew it because, you know what, as we see now, the majority of us are dealing with mental health issues. I saw something today. We talk about spectrums all the time, right? We talk about the autistic spectrum, all these other different spectrums. Well, mental health is a spectrum. Yeah? Exactly, Mrs. Portland. We all have our rough days and our happy days and all those things. And it's learning the skills to get through those rough days better. That's what it's all about. Hey, Tammy, love you, my dear. So it's all about doing what we can to get through those. And that spectrum, that mental health spectrum, every single one of us, whether you have mental health issues or not, you always are somewhere on that spectrum. Okay? And that's where it is understanding and knowing that at times things change. We change on that spectrum. Okay? And we learn how to deal with it, how to not give other people control over our thoughts and beliefs about ourselves. Because that's the number one thing I learned in life. Okay? I am the only person who has control over how I feel. Others may try to control that, but I'm the one allowing them to control it. I'm the one giving them access to that. I'm the one who can step up and say, no, you can say whatever you want, but I know who I am. And that's what it comes down to. So I wanted to go through today, one of the things I've heard mentioned over and over recently, whether it's through drama, my personal life, okay, whatever it is, I hear issues with the word apology. Okay, how many of us have okay, put a 1 in chat if you have apologized for anything in the last week. Put a 1 in chat if you've apologized for anything whatsoever in the last week. Okay, heck, I could say I apologized probably within the last 2 hours, to be honest, which is a different issue I'm going to talk about. A lot of us, especially those of us who've dealt with mental health issues, women, I hate to say it, we over-apologize. I'm an over-apologizer. There's all the ones. Last half hour. There you go, Tim. That's, okay, apologies are something that from the time we are little kids, one of the first 2 things we are taught, okay, is share and apologize. Share your toys, and if you hurt someone else, apologize for it. That's what we're taught. Okay, when we're young, that is saying, I'm sorry. Okay, how you sit down with your kids. Hello, Miss Kelly. You sit down with your kids and they have a fight and you're like, okay, tell her I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, you know how we do it. Then as we get older, apologies change. Our understandings of how to apologize and what comes into play changes with it. It's no longer the I'm sorry bit. It's understanding the reasons behind the apology. Who is the apology for? Is it for us or is it for the other person? That's a question so many of us talk about. Who is the apology for? What is it we're doing when we're apologizing? Is it an apology, okay, if we don't take a look at our own actions and what led us to the apology? So that's what I kind of wanted to look at. That as well as the over-apologizing bit, the thing like me, okay? Hell, I will be out in public and someone will accidentally, okay, bump into me. And what do? I apologize. What? Why am I apologizing for someone else accidentally bumping into me when it's not their fault to begin with and it's definitely not, but I apologize. So there's that side of it too that we got to take a look at it. So when do apologies just become words? When are apologies something that is down deep in our heart and we've thought through? When do people, one of the other areas, can people owe us apologies? Can we demand apologies? That's something that I see quite often. Okay, I get hurt and I'm like, well, why aren't they apologizing to me? And then I have to step back and figure out, wait, how does this apology thing work to begin with? And all. So the first thing that we come to is that question. Okay, what are apologies there for? Apologies are for the person we hurt. Okay, say if I, get mad, and I haul off and hit my brother. Okay, when I'm a child. Okay, well, no, not even a child. As we get older, we do things too. And, but I do something wrong. The apology is there for the person I hurt. It's not there to make me feel better, right? It's not there for me to say, oh, I'm sorry I did this. Okay, whew, now I feel better about myself. No, that's the selfish side of apologizing. Because if you're apologizing, you should truly be apologizing because you understand where you hurt that person, what you did that hurt them. Now, does that mean you're going to change right away? No. All behaviors take time to change, but you're acknowledging it. And Mrs. Portland, I think that's something good point there. Seems each time I apologize for my own mistakes, it does no good. And I think that's one reason why we all step back and, and look at, what is the apology? Why am I making the apology? Who is the apology for? And what am I hoping to get out of it? And that's kind of where we're going to go. So I first wanted to start with, we do something. Let's look at the easiest side of apologies. We've done something wrong that we felt deeply wrong about. Maybe we spoke about someone else. I've done that before, where all of a sudden I said something about someone and I never meant it to come out that way and it came out that way. Or whatever, someone triggered me. Maybe they've triggered me. Let's take something on that level where, my behavior is triggered based off of something someone else did. I've had this happen to me quite often. And I get triggered and I react. So I step back and I think it through. I said this and I yelled at them and I called them names, whatever, because they said something that pissed me off. Yeah, that was probably not the best idea. That's not how I would want someone else to treat me. I was wrong. I hurt them. I understand. I hurt them, so I need to apologize. I make that decision for myself. I owe them an apology. And so what I want to do is actually go through, how can you go through a proper apology? Let me ask you guys this. Put a 1 in chat if any of you guys were taught in school how to make a proper apology. Put a 2 if no one ever taught you how to truly apologize other than to say, I'm sorry. I know me, nowhere in school. Kindergarten, first grade, second through, all the way through high school, undergrad, grad school. No one ever taught me how to apologize. I was told, say, I'm sorry. I never was taught how do you formulate it, what are the thought process behind it. And we hear all the times people say, well, that person apologized, but then used the word but. That's who I was. I've always been the type of person who would say, I'm sorry, but I need you to understand the reason why I did what I did. And then I'd get upset later when people would be like, that's not an apology, loco. That's not an apology when you're using the word but in there. And so I had to start researching because guess what? No one ever taught me how to do this. So in researching, you basically have 3 steps to an apology. Every apology, if you go through these 3 steps, you're going to be steps forward ahead of where you normally would be. First, you need to take responsibility for what you did. Even if that person made fun of me, whoa, what was that? Someone just got upset over there. Said something that triggered me. Maybe they made a comment about my weight, or they made a comment about my skin when I'm having a rosacea breakout or something like that. Hey, Cristola, love you, my dear. No matter what, I then got upset and I went back at them just as hard, and but I can't take responsibility for what they've done. That's their action. It's not my action. Them making the comment, whatever they did, even in a gaslit type situation, actually. In fact, AJ, a lot of times I blow up at someone else off of a gaslit type thing. They're gaslighting me and I blow up, and then I'm like, whoa, wait. I need to back off here and try to figure out what's going on. But yes, AJ, you're right. The gaslighting into an apology is a big thing here on YouTube. But first thing, stepping back, okay, I can't take responsibility for what the other person said. I can't change how they think. What I can change is how I react to it in the future. I can take responsibility for that action that I took, whether it's yelling, talking behind people's back, screaming, physical stuff, whatever it is that I might do. Okay, I have to take responsibility for that. Next, in taking that responsibility, you're thinking about what happened, yeah? For you to take responsibility for your behavior, you have to understand how is it affecting the other person. So as you're going through that, you're looking at, okay, what did my words or my action cause in that person? Did it maybe cause them sadness, anger? No. Okay, what did it actually cause them? I have to develop empathy for them. No problem, Christola. Okay, how do they feel? Understanding that I hurt them. So you're going through that, and you're going to, okay, and when you're talking to the person and apologizing, you're actually going to want to acknowledge that empathy side, okay, that side that you're using your empathy on. Okay, I'm so sorry for what I did. In yelling at you, I recognize I probably made you very mad, or I probably hurt your feelings badly. And addressing that. Okay, because at that point, you're letting that person that you're apologizing know that you understand that you hurt them. And now, you may not have it right on. Maybe I'm thinking that it made them sad. Okay, I'm sorry for calling you those names. I'm sure it made you feel very sad. And they might be like, oh, no. I didn't feel sad. I got pissed off. I got really mad. I started questioning my own beliefs in myself. That's fine. That's fine if they say that. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was that, no, that's fine. Okay, what they're doing now is they're letting you know how they truly felt. Okay, and that's part of it, is because if you're apologizing to someone else, it isn't just saying, I'm sorry, and expecting everyone to move on. They need to know that you understand what it did to them, how it made them feel. Okay, and then the third step, there's only 3 steps here. What are you going to do to change? We talk about this all the time. How many times we hear on YouTube, well, so-and-so apologizes, but they never change. Okay, now, there's multiple sides on that. There could be the truth. Maybe the person doesn't change and doesn't want to change. I know many people that I suspect probably don't want to change. Do I know that for sure? No, I'm not in their head. I don't know what they're thinking in their head. I'm speculating. I might be putting together patterns and trying to figure it out, but I don't know. Okay, sorry, my mom is trying to train the dogs with a can with coins in it each time they bark. So I don't know if you're hearing that or not. So it's important in some of the cases for people to actually recognize you might see someone making the same mistake. Okay, but think about it. When you're younger, how many times do you learn a lesson on the first try? Many times it takes many times to learn, especially if that person is being triggered through, okay, something that's triggered them and there's a mental health connection with it also. maybe a self-esteem issue or something like that. They're having to deal with that also. So when people sit there and say, well, that person is not, Cassie, no. When someone's sitting there and saying, well, that person's not trying, the only person who knows if that person's really trying or not is that person. And I think we need to give other people that benefit of accepting that. Okay, we can watch what's happening. Okay, maybe we can help people if they ask, well, how do I change this in the future so I don't react this way? Okay, and maybe, and I know, Mrs. Portland, you're an example. I know you're trying. I know very well you're trying. I've seen the changes privately behind the scenes where other people don't see it. Okay, because a lot of times, again, each of us know each other at a different level. Some of us, okay, know each other a little bit more than others because we talk more often. Okay, but none of us know each other as well as the people who live right around us. Our family know us. Okay, so understanding what you're going to do. So you're sitting there thinking and you're like, okay, I got upset. I'm apologizing. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for saying this. I'm sure it really hurt your feelings and made you sad or made you doubt yourself. I'm really going to try in the future to not react as quickly, maybe. Maybe I will try to figure out a way I can step back and not act for 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever. Trying different things until you find that right combination of things you can do that prevent you from taking that step that hurts someone else's feelings. So, hey Boots Mama, how you doing, my dear? So that's something important for you to take a look at because all of us are learning things. We're all learning how we're affecting other people as we find out more about them. So next thing I wanted to check is, okay, so you'll do better. Oh, wait. It's not enough for you to say, okay, I am going to make these changes. Okay, I will take time off before I react. You need to know down deep in your heart, I have to do this. And if I don't do it and I fall backwards on it and I do the same behavior again, okay, I'm hurting someone else again. And that hurt is something that came from my actions. It wasn't, okay, something else. So accepting that you do need to make these changes. Accepting that. And many of you guys are accepting those things and moving forward and trying. Many, even me, I'm still having to accept that within myself. Okay, when someone says something that triggers me big time, I tend to act quickly, but I don't act outwards where people can see. I go internal. I almost have to apologize to myself in the end, to be honest, because I hurt myself in the end. I don't mean physically hurt, but I just start questioning and I start talking myself down, which is not fair to myself either. So, and last, okay, it all gets down to that whole thing. Apologies mean nothing without change or an attempt at change. Hey, Frank, you take it easy, my dear. When people see change, and not everyone's going to recognize change. Not everyone's going to recognize it because they're not around each other enough to see it. Okay? But they recognize it's not going to happen overnight, but it happens over time. And, but you do have to have change. Okay? People, you'll find yourself, okay, put it this way. If you make a mistake and you hurt someone else and you find yourself having to apologize, but you don't do anything to change that behavior in the future, right? Then are you truly sorry for making the mistake over and over? So see, that's where that gets at. Because if you truly feel bad about what you're doing, you don't want to continue doing it, yeah? We don't want to continue hurting people. So we look for ways to change that. So now, though, And this is where some of the stuff comes. When we are apologizing, there are mistakes. And first of all, I do want everyone to know, when I'm talking about these things, I think a lot of times when we talk about mental health things, it's going to trigger something within ourselves. Because I guarantee you, every one of you probably have a feeling somewhere in your head that I'm talking to you. Okay? I know I have a feeling I'm talking to myself right now. And I'm not. I'm talking to people in general. This is a way for all of us to be able to look at our own behaviors, look at how we can grow and become the person that God wants us to become. And so when we're apologizing, one of the things that tends to happen quite often is we truly don't mean to hurt someone. And we apologize, but something happens in that apology. And maybe people don't accept it. And that could be because they don't want to. And they have a right not to accept an apology. Everyone has a right not to accept someone else's apology, because remember, an apology is not for ourselves. An apology is for the person we hurt. And if they're not at that place where they can accept that, that's their right. That's their boundaries. And we're going to talk about that to some degree also near the end here. But in the meantime, when we're making an apology, there's certain things that you might find yourself doing. Like I said, the word but earlier. Okay, I apologize for all that, but... And then people get really upset real quickly. Because they're like, well, why are you apologizing then? Because you're now just putting it right back on me. Yeah? And so the first thing is exactly that. Don't make the apology about you. Okay, so many things we can do are actually making the apology about us. Okay, so how many times have we heard someone come up to us and apologize, and they're like, I'm so sorry for what happened the other day. I know I blew up at you and I was screaming at you. That was wrong. I should never have done that. I felt horrible that I did that to you, and I'd been having this hard day, and I should have known better than to do that. And it's I. And by the end of it, the person's saying, wait. In the end, they're having to make a decision. Okay, how do they react? Because all you're doing is talking about yourself. And what you're actually doing is putting your guilt on the other person. That other person who you've been apologizing to, you've been telling them about how horrible you felt and how this and how that and how that, I. And you're making the whole apology about yourself. So what happens in the end is the person ends up saying, oh, I'm so sorry about that. And now the person you just apologized to is now apologizing to you. You've turned the whole apology into about you. Okay, again, apologies are there not to absolve ourselves of guilt. They're there to let the other person know that we understand we hurt them. We hurt them. So it's important for us to remember that. And number 2, sorry, I just hit the wrong button there. Number 2, don't make excuses for the behavior. Okay? It's so easy for us to look, and actually, I'll be honest, I'd say a large majority of the time when we get upset at other people, something has happened that has made us upset, yeah? And sometimes it's something that person did. So what we do is, I am so sorry about that, but when you said this, I got really upset. And now you're making an excuse for the behavior, and you're forgetting you hurt them. You forgot the reason behind the apology. The reason being, I'm sorry I hurt you. So don't go into that. But now, Crystal, I've done this type of stuff all the time. And I didn't ever really quite know how do I get about that, though, because I still want to address the issue. It's not like just because I did something wrong doesn't mean we should not address the issue behind it, because then we're going to repeat the behavior over and over and over, because guess what? No one's going to make a change. Yeah? So what you can do is after you apologize and you've both reached that thing where they understand, okay, and they feel that you truly are sorry for the way you acted. There is no reason for you to not be able to, after all that's cleared, okay, step back and say, okay, I did want to say, though, I would like to have a discussion at some point. It doesn't have to be now. It can be tomorrow, the day after, whatever. But I would like to talk about some of the things that happened that led me to my behavior, because I truly don't want to repeat that behavior anymore. And part of me trying to figure this out is, well, everyone hates the words, but it sometimes does take two to tango. Okay, most of the times it does. So it's okay. And by the way, Darren, I did see you there. No problem. Love you, my dear. I'm just happy anytime I get to see you pop into any chat. I'm happy to see you pop in at any time. So having that time where you just step back and say, I'm really sorry, and then come back afterwards. Okay, don't make it a condition of the apology. It's separate. And then you can come back and talk about it. Okay. Next step I wanted to talk is accepting the apology. Okay. When someone apologizes to us, we have two options, right? You accept it or you don't accept it, right? In general. Okay. Sometimes we don't want to accept it. And it coming straight out and saying, no, I don't accept that. Now that's rude also. I'm sorry. I am going to say that. That's rude if someone is coming to you with a really heartfelt apology, a true heartfelt apology, and that person comes back and says, basically, oh, fuck you, I don't care. Okay, then there's issues there too. Okay, so how do you, if you are in that group where you're like, I want to respond to this apology, but I can't say it's okay. It's not okay. It truly is not okay. What are some of the things you can say? Okay, because unfortunately, if you come straight out and you say, no, I won't accept it, you know what? And if you're rude about it, you're going to just continue the feud further. So some of the things you can look at is just saying, well, thank you for apologizing. You don't have to let them know that it's been accepted or anything. Just thank you for apologizing. Thank you. Or these are just giving you some words you can go with. I truly appreciate the apology. I really do. I do need you to know, though, I'm still hurt. And that hurt does not leave right away. I need some time to work past that hurt. But I really do appreciate the apology. Or thanks for saying that. I need more time to process that. Nice and easy. That way you're not even saying I appreciate it or anything. Just, well, okay, thank you for saying it. I just need time. Or let them know. I believe you. I do believe you are sorry. Because that's what's important. When a person goes so far as saying, I truly am sorry for this. I know I hurt you by doing this. Okay, I know this is how it must have felt. And this is how I'm going to change. Okay, I believe you're sorry. I need time. I need time. And then follow up with that time. Don't hold them off forever. But when you finally get to that point, it may be a day, it may be 6 months. Maybe it is never. And in that case, it's probably not the greatest relationship that you want to begin with. Okay, but you have that. Exactly, Michelle. No one should ever expect forgiveness for an apology. Okay, it's up to the other, because again, an apology is not about the person who's apologizing. It's about the person who is being apologized to. So no one should ever expect that it's going to be forgiven. Okay, what you're doing is trying to give it. Now, in general, most people should have the ability to say, I thank you. Okay, and acknowledge it on a courteous, respectful level also. I do think that. And Now, the next one I wanted to address, and this one's a little bit more interesting, because this is something that I think a lot of us do, and I've seen it happen quite often. Thank you, Michelle. Exactly, Tim. Apologies are so we feel good as people. Yeah. No, I know you're joking. And hey, there's a part of me, I'll be honest, when we're younger, I think that's why we do apologize, is because it makes us feel better. But it says we start to understand the true meaning of an apology, that we start understanding why we're doing it. And it takes a little bit of time. So the next I did want to look at is demanding. Every now and then, not every now and then, quite often, I hear people say, well, so-and-so hurt me, they should apologize. Yeah, they should apologize if they've hurt you. They should apologize. But unfortunately, and this is the hardest thing ever, this was one of the hardest things for me to accept as a survivor. You would think as an abuse survivor, wouldn't it make sense that someone would apologize to me, sorry, I'm hiccuping, apologize to me for hurting me when I was a child? Right? Shouldn't be that hard for someone to say, oh, I'm so sorry for what happened when you what I did when you were a child. Yeah, but I have to realize also, number one, I don't have control over those other people and where they are. That's up to them whether they want to apologize to me. And if I tell them, I expect an apology from you, is it going to truly be an apology? Or is it just words? Because words don't work. Words are not an apology. An apology is an emotion behind everything. It's something that we have going on, and we want the apology because we've been hurt, yeah? When you've been hurt by someone, you want the apology because you want to feel better. But this is where I say that, you know what? We have to believe in ourselves. Someone else, is it going to make any difference, okay, if that person truly apologizes to me? Is it going to make me feel better? Okay. Is it going to change the way I think and how it affected me deep? Well, it'll feel nice that the person addressed it. But we have the responsibility within ourselves also. We have the responsibility to say, you know what, I believe in who I am. I know what I'm doing here, and I don't have to have that apology for me to move forward. So it's important for you. Going back to that idea, if you go demanding, okay, I want an apology. Okay, you hurt me. Okay, hello, Downtown Wonder. And exactly. And it takes forever. Sometimes it's the age. Okay, Downtown saying, I'm 57, just discovered mom's a narcissist. No apology is ever going to come. And that's sometimes what we have to realize. The person may not be able to apologize. Okay, or if they do apologize, I'm sorry. Yeah? I'm sorry. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, if someone just comes out and says, oh, I'm sorry, are you going to really accept that apology? Or is it going to get you more upset because now you know they're rolling their eyes at you, okay, I'm sorry, type of thing. Okay, that's going to get you more upset in the end, yeah? And can you truly accept it? Okay, when we demand an apology, okay, it's more about we are trying to prove the person who hurt us was wrong. We are right. So we're making them apologize. Okay, because think about when you're a child and you hurt a classmate and the teacher says, okay, go apologize to them. The person who's apologizing is considered at that age wrong. So if you're going to someone else and saying, I want an apology for that, then you're basically saying, I'm right, you're wrong. And that's breaking down that whole ability to communicate between the two of you to begin with. An apology is something that comes out of the heart of someone who truly understands they hurt someone. Now, in the same frame, I think it's okay for us to want to ask for, okay? There's nothing wrong with me wanting to say, you know what, the person that hurt me when I was a child, I would love an apology from. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But maybe instead of demanding it, okay, instead of saying, hey, you know what, I deserve an apology for this, you let them know how you were hurt. You just let them know without attacking them back. Okay, because that's the other side. If you start attacking someone else back, they're not going to want to apologize because they're going to go on the defensive, yeah? So maybe just let them know, okay, privately, you know, when you sat there and called me those names, it brought me back to times when I was a child and these things happened, and it really hurt me. It really hurt me. And you let them know. They may actually think. It may take another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but it might actually get to the point where they're like, okay, yeah, I do need to apologize. It might eat at them long enough where they do finally realize. And it becomes a real apology, not something that's demanded. You guys in chat, I love you. I am following what's going on in chat too, trust me. And I really appreciate everything you guys are saying. And also, the next thing I wanted to address on apologies, and we kind of talked about this already, that's over-apologizing. Put a 1 in chat. I'd love to hear this. How many of you guys, put a 1 in chat if you over-apologize, if you apologize for everything in the world. I mean, to the point where you walk into a room where someone's watching a movie and you flip on the lights and they're like, oh, can you turn off the lights? And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, and you turn them off. Okay, put a 1 in chat if you are one of those over-apologizers who apologize for everything in the world. You apologize for the sun coming up this morning. Okay, or put a 2 in chat if you are just, okay, like, no, that's not me. And there are people, okay, there's people in both groups, so there's nothing wrong with being either side of this group, okay? And it actually, there's many reasons behind it. Here come the numbers. Let's see, to be fair, that after I got a 6 here, yeah. Abusive relationships play with our ability, especially exactly, AJ, with this area, the over-apologizing. Okay, there they are. We got a couple 2s. We got quite a few 1s. There are certain areas, certain groupings that tend to over-apologize. And they've looked at this, hey, Kimmykins. Certain groups that tend to over-apologize. The first grouping is actually women. Women in general, and yes, mermaid, me too. I'm much better now as I'm getting older than I was when I was younger. Women tend to be much heavier when it comes, heavier, that was the wrong word, but much more prolific over-apologizers. There, that sounds better. And a lot of times it's tied in with how, especially the generation, like my generation, the younger groups, maybe not quite as much, but the older women tend to find themselves apologizing a lot more because they were meant to. I know, Michelle, I was like, that was the wrong word there. So, but we tend to do those types of things where we question ourselves quite often. Okay, we've been kind of taught to let other people make decisions for us, and if we don't really have that ability to make that decision or things like that. So women tend to be heavily into that area. Also, I agree. I think when you've been in an abusive type relationship or a narcissistic type of relationship, the apologies become many more than they would normally be, and you apologize for anything and everything. Because, again, if you go back to some of the videos we did on narcissistic relationships, you're always on eggshells. You're walking on eggshells all the time. Okay, so you want to apologize for everything before it becomes an issue. And what happens, and I do this all the time, I'll go out shopping and I will, like I said, we'll be walking in a crowded mall and someone accidentally, bumps into me because it's so crowded. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. They didn't need to apologize to me. I didn't need to apologize to them. It's just, we were in a crowded area. That's all. Over apologizing tends to minimize our own sense of self-worth. Think about it. Michelle, hey, you can start paying me for this therapy work each week. How's that? Playing with you, girl. And when we start apologizing over and over and over, we start questioning ourselves more and more and more. Okay, we start wondering about our own sense of self-worth. If we're always wrong, Sleuth, I love you, my dear. If we're always wrong, if we're always apologizing, then something must be wrong with us, yeah? Hey, love you, my dear. And so it does. It starts to play with our sense of self-worth. We don't count as much. In our own head, we start questioning whether we matter as much. Because after all, the person that I just bumped into is worth more than me. That's why I said I'm sorry to them. Hey, Downtown Wonder. So yeah, you run into all these different things. Another is always apologizing. Okay, narcissistic behaviors, things like that. Okay, when you're in that type of relationship and you're always saying, oh, I'm sorry for this. Oh, I'm sorry that I offered this suggestion for a solution, or I did this, or I did that. You're basically telling them that your boundaries don't count. Okay, that you and your beliefs don't matter to anyone. If they don't matter to you, why would they ever matter to anyone else? So we stop. I found when I had boundary issues, and I still have boundary issues, but I'm much better than I used to. The more the boundary issues I had, the more self-apologies I always did. Okay, as I've gotten more, it's okay, where I don't apologize as much like that, I feel better about myself. Okay, it's not that I'm being rude. Okay, but then those are the questions that pop up. How do you deal with those things? Okay, if you do pop into someone, you don't want to be rude to them. Okay, but there are things that you could do. So what can you do? Well, one person I was reading suggested just saying thank you. Maybe not for bumping into people. Okay, but if, you can go and tell people, oh, thank you for doing this for us today, or find ways of getting the word thank you in there instead of saying, I'm sorry. Okay, oh, thank you for letting me turn the light on. And, or, oh, thank you, let me fix this up right now, or something like that, because the word thank you doesn't make us question ourselves as much. And there's ways of working. It feels so weird to say it. Okay, but if you just get into it, then it becomes more natural. Much more natural for you. So, as we come pretty much to a close of this one, I kind of wanted to address this because I know this is something many of us, okay, in this community, many people that I know outside of this community, but who watch us talk about this quite often. AJ, I'm sorry. I'll try to find out what's going on. I'll take a look at it later, AJ. Sorry, my dear. And, but yeah, I'll as we go through all these things, we start trying to figure out, well, even there. Okay, AJ knew I was sorry. Okay, I'm saying, oh, I'm sorry, instead popping up and saying, oh, wow, let me take a look at that. So see what I mean about the over-apologizing type thing? Okay, he knows how I feel. Okay, he knows that I'm not mad at him or anything like that. And but we throw those words in because we're always so worried about how things are going to take. So I think if there's any things I would like people to kind of remember, okay? And actually, I'm going to say those things, but first, before I do that, I'd like to actually ask you guys. I forgot, I used to do this. Before we end this live today, okay, and we start getting ready for Cantina, which, yes, I'm going to try to pull off Cantina for a little while today. Can you guys, if you don't mind, type in one thing in chat that you're going to walk away with. What is one bit of information that we talked about today that you're going to take away and try to put into play for your own life? Maybe it is something to do. Maybe it is a different way of thinking about something. But what are some of the things, or maybe it's something you read in chat that I didn't even mention at the time. Sorry, I need to get better. See, sorry, again, what can I say? I need to get better at posting all those things. Okay, I had a feeling there's a lot of us, okay, mods that accidentally were working on our phones and things get hit. So yeah, I've done that. Actually, I have deleted people's comments before by literally sitting on my phone by accident and not realizing what I was doing. And also, okay, got it. So anyhow, no worry, gang. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So some of the things I'd ask people to take a look at is work through something. Think about something, a argument you've had recently where you did something that was wrong, okay, that you had to apologize for. Walk through that apology in your head. Okay, did you follow those 3 steps? Was there a step missing? Okay, is there a way you could have done that? I've always been one of the people who believe you can always get better at stuff. So even when I do something like an apology, I'll kind of Monday morning quarterback it later. And I'm like, okay, so how did I do with that? Is there anything I can learn from this? I try to do those things all the time. Downtown Wonder, amen. Never apologize for who you are. You were made who you are. Each of us were given certain things in our lives to get through. They made us stronger. They made us able to look at the world from a different point of view than other people might be able to do. Never, ever apologize for who you've become. And doesn't mean we all don't have reasons to change and get better at things. Hell, I've got a hell of a lot of things that I could do differently in my life. Become a better daughter, become a better friend, become a, better friend of myself. And, but yeah. Michelle, I will know I'm not the only one who has been hurt by another. Validation is important. Apologies matter and hearts are ready for, okay, yes. There's so much going on with that. Don't let an apology, if you truly care about someone, I'm going to just leave with this. Don't let an apology or a lack of apology break up a friendship. Friendships are worth more than that. Okay, we are given friendships. Some friendships are short, some are long, some are here for certain reasons, but never let an apology or a lack of apology ruin a friendship. Keep fighting for the friendships that you have because they're worth it. There you go, Crystal. The gremlins have deleted comments. Totally. I'm going to real quickly, again, like I said, we have that national hotline now for everyone. Please remember that number the way you remember 911. If you yourself are in a place that feels like you need to talk, text, whatever with someone, dial 988. We've had the video before that for those of you who have been talking to people online and those people are in a really bad place and you're talking with them, trying to help support them, and you're feeling like, I want to be here, but I just don't have the skills to do this. This is your number. This is the number that you could ask them to call, or you know what? Might even be something that you can actually call them and ask them. Tell them you have a friend who's in this position, whether it's hurting themselves or something like that, and you don't know how to get them to call. See if they have suggestions. I don't know. But when it comes to helping friends, it's worth it. So remember that 988. AJ here. Also, don't let an apology or a lack of apology stunt you from moving forward, because holding in that pain is just going to make you live a life of regret and miss out on a lot of shit. Yes, I agree. I lived the first 25 to 30 years of my life hiding behind pain. Truly. And when I finally started dealing with it and moving forward, It's an amazing life out there. It's an amazing world out there. Yes, you get hurt. It hurts like hell when you do get hurt, but it's an amazing life out there. So much joy, so much fun you can have. People that are just amazing. But if you get stuck on that one little thing, it's going to hold you back. So remember that number. Again, I'm going to pull up our dear Imani here. If anyone has any information and can help share that out. If you got Instagram, Twitter. I do have a TikTok that is now out also on the Local My Life. You can go in there and help us get that one out. Let's see if we can get Imani home and safe. Love all you guys. I will be starting up Cantina 1 hour from now. I am limiting myself a little bit now. I'll explain a little bit more at the top of Cantina, but I'm trying to keep myself from getting over exhausted right now. And also I'm going to probably limit myself to about an hour, hour and a half-ish. But we will do Cantina for sure because I've missed hanging out. So I will talk to y'all soon. Love each and every one of you. Okay. I will see ya. Aloha. Have a, downtown. You got to get out here at least once in your life. Hawaii's worth it. Cruise it. But we'll talk about that in Cantina. Love you guys. Aloha. Mahalo. Have a great Aloha Friday. Bye-bye.